Today's date is August the 18th, 1998. Survivor being interviewed is Natan Fox, that's N-A-T-H-A-N-F-O-X. Last name at birth, Fuchs, F-U-K-S. Interviewer, Carol Hurst. Interview is taking place in Ilford in the county of Essex in the United Kingdom and will be conducted in English. Today's date is August the 18th, 1998. Survivor being interviewed is Natan Fox, that's N-A-H-A-N-F-O-X. Last name at birth, Fuchs, F-U-K-S. Interviewer is Carol Hurst. The interview is taking place in Ilford in the county of Essex in the United Kingdom and will be conducted in English. Take 1, Natan Fox. Could you tell me your name?
Natan Fox.
And can you spell it?
Got the spelling.
And your name at birth?
5th January
No.
1915.
And how old are you now?
83 and a half.
And what was your name when you were born?
Natan Fox. N-O-T-A. Fox. F-O-K-S.
And where were you born?
Ozorkov.
Would you spell that?
O-Z-O-R-K-O-M-P-W.
Thank you. Where was the nearest large town? The nearest large town.
Lodz.
Can you spell Lodz?
L-O-D-Z.
And in which country were you born?
Poland.
What was your mother's name?
Pesa.
And do you know where she was born?
No, I not can remember.
Do you know when she was born?
No.
Or anything about her education?
No.
No. What was her occupation?
My occupation been after married.
Yeah.
After married is my father lived in business in flour.
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 Your mother?
My father.
No, your mother.
Your mother. When my father died, people was born was buying the shop, so no got to pay for cash. My mother pay and the paying of every week paying of money.
What was she selling?
Everything.
Can you give me some examples?
Textile, silver candles, all of house.
And did she take them round to people's homes?
Yeah.
How did she transport what she was carrying? Did she carry?
We carry, yeah.
And your father, what was his name?
Seinville.
And do you know where he was born?
No.
Do you know what year he was born?
No.
Or anything about his education?
No.
And
When I know you, my father died when I've been very, very young, 18 months, maybe a year as I died.
what was his occupation before he died?
He was in the business in flour, in this family business.
Was it his family's business?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about your grandparents?
No.
On either side?
No.
Do you have, or did you have any brothers or sisters?
I've got a brother who you see of the video. Later I've got another brother.
Can you tell me their names? The eldest elder.
Chaim,
And the next one?
Yeshua.
And the next one?
Next one, ik weet nog my father's name, Seinfeld.
And the next one?
Ik was sister,
What was her name?
Sandra.
And
No, the next sister, ik weet die is living Israel, Esther.
and were there more?
Another sister, Sandra. And that's all.
And where did you come in the line of brothers and sisters? Were you the eldest or in the middle?
No, I've been one from the youngster.
And where did you grow up? In which town did you grow up?
Half Ozorkov, half Lodz.
How old were you when you moved to Lodz?
13 maybe. Yeah.
So what memories do you have of Ozorkov?
What memories? I don't tell you.
What sort of area was it?
Being very young, began at club, got friends. I work. Yeah.
What do you remember of your school days?
No, I don't want to go to school.
You didn't want to go to
No.
school? Why?
I don't know why.
What kind of a school was it?
A school from the government.
Were there other Jewish children at the school? Was it a Jewish school?
A Jewish school.
And what subjects did you like?
No subject, Yiddish.
You liked to speak Yiddish. And what was your home like? Can you describe your house that you lived in?
Very comfortable.
Was it a house or a flat?
A flat. In Poland, no houses. In Poland, we have flats.
You said it was very comfortable.
Very comfortable. My mother get us everything what we need.
How many bedrooms were there?
3 bedroom and a kitchen.
And did your mother have household help?
No.
So did the children help?
Children help.
What sort of help did you give as a child?
And child, I help with the cleaning, different work. Late I start to work in, I give my wages to my mother, and my mother gave me the spending money.
And to what kind of religious observance was there in your home?
Jewish, from Orthodox.
Can you say some more about that? For example, how often did you go to the synagogue?
Synagogue. When I don't work Sunday, you will no work. Synagogue, a stiebel up is medrisch.
What's the difference between that and a synagogue?
The synagogue is not open all Saturdays. And the medrisch is open all day, every day.
And you went there?
Yeah.
To pray or to study?
No, to like film. They pray, and that's all.
To pray. And what was the Sabbath like in your home?
Shabbos, very Orthodox. Not allowed to switch off the light. Yes, no lights of cooking. We cook Friday morning for Saturday.
What sort of food would you eat on the Sabbath?
Sabbath meat, fish. In the Saturday morning we cake with milk. Yeah.
And your mother would light the candles on a Friday night? And who would be sitting around the table on a Friday night?
The mother and everyone.
The mother and all the children?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No.
What language did you speak at home?
Home Yiddish.
And at school also?
School Yiddish and a little bit Polish.
What were the relationships like between the Jews and the non-Jews in your neighbourhood?
In the town, me live very good. Yeah.
Were there many Jews in the neighbourhood?
Uh,
Were there a lot of Jews
yeah.
around?
Ozorkov lived 3,000 Jews. In Lodz lived 300,000. So he mixed.
Did you experience any anti-Semitism while you were living in Ozorkov?
In Ozorkov, no, not in Lodz.
In Lodz you did?
Yeah. So giving papers was told the Jews and this and this and this, no buying by Jews.
People would say that, or
Yeah, no, say it. Yeah.
was that said to you?
Yeah, and but the Jewish shops, sometimes on the Polish people don't go in for this a Jew shop.
Why did you move to Lodge?
For Lodge, Ozark has been a small town. And me then again grown up and my brother married in Lodge. But I've been making a better living.
So did your mother continue her occupation when you moved?
No. My mother was ill, heart. I worked, my sister worked, me keep in the home.
And was your home comfortable in Lodge?
Comfortable, very comfortable.
And what was the area in Lodge like that you lived in?
It's a Jewish area. Yeah.
And you kept up your observance?
Right.
Yes. Was your standard of living typical of other Jews?
But us and I'm not very different. Me then again accountable to the rich Jews. Me feel normal. Yeah.
Did you have a bar mitzvah?
In Polen, me non joh a bar mitzvah.
You didn't?
No, in Polen, me non joh a bar mitzvah. And I've been 13, I've been going to Stiebel. I liked film. He took a bottle of vodka with cake, and this was a bar mitzvah.
Was that the usual thing that
Yeah,
happened?
that's the usual happening. Yeah. A bar mitzvah was made here.
So what age did you leave school?
I thought it 13, 14 years.
And what did you do when you left school?
I began learning a profession, textile.
And did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Yes.
When I joined, I helped my mother.
So how many days did you work a week?
A week. She gave 6 days a week.
But not on the Sabbath? Or you worked on the Sabbath?
You know, you say in Israel, when you work Saturday to make a living, you can work Saturdays.
And what did you do in your spare time?
But I got friends, kind of like club. Yeah. Most I've been going home. Yeah.
And what did you hope for the future? What were your future hopes and plans?
In future, me grown up, me married, me helped a mother, me had a big family.
Did you want to continue working in the textile
Yes.
business? Yes. And how many years did you do that?
The war broke down.
What were you doing? Were you selling textiles?
No, I work off machine.
On the machine. And what happened when the war broke out?
The war broke up. We stopped working. Everything stopped. The war broke up Friday morning, and Saturday is Polen one bombs. Later we're going to the ghetto.
Everything stopped when war broke out.
Yes.
And who gave you the orders to go to the ghetto?
To Germany.
How were those orders given to you?
Ze gave a youth, ze gave one Jew, he gave the eldest definition and everything. The Germany came in orders and they got orders.
Or did it come by letter?
No,
Oh.
that I not can remember. But we got into the ghetto, the German took us to work every day.
Can I just ask you before
Yeah.
you tell me about that, what could you take with you?
This was icon. This is an icon.
Just
No,
with-
no furniture. Actually, I think a couple of chairs. This was money.
So how you took a couple of chairs?
Yeah, a couple of chairs. This was money.
Did all the family go together?
Yeah.
So how did you?
No, I and one brother, when I married, he not lived before in a lodge, lived in another town. Or the music, well, the sisters and the brother, with the mother, you can all of them come to the ghetto.
So how did you leave your home? How did you leave it? Did you just lock and go?
No, it came another Polish family. Me took off in his house and was with the ghetto. and he took our house he made before. They fled.
They came out of the ghetto area and
Yeah.
took your house.
Yes.
And did you go to their house in the ghetto?
Yeah, we lived there.
So how did you travel to the ghetto?
With the leg.
And how did you carry your few belongings?
We took our little push chairs again.
How did you react to that?
Very bad.
Were you angry?
Yeah, yeah.
Were you frightened?
No, I never been frightened.
So when you got to the ghetto, what was the home like that you...
We had one room in a kitchen.
And how many of you had to live in that?
All the time.
How many of you?
How many? There have been 4 or 5 people.
Was it comfortable?
No choice.
And how did you get your food?
For it's a great shop. My mom got money in my boat. Yeah. We sold everything we make on to make money and to make a living.
And so what did you do once you settled into your accommodation in the ghetto? How did you support yourselves?
We sold little what.
You sold
Yeah,
the things that you brought with you?
yeah.
But what happened when you'd sold everything that you could sell?
Later I've been out from the logic. I've been in the ghetto 2 months. Before we closed the ghetto, it took me off work to Germany in the camp.
They took you to Germany?
Yeah.
And you left your family?
I left my family.
And they were still in the ghetto?
Yeah.
Where were you taken to?
But
And where was Brett's?
that's by the Germany border, I think. The Norway Poland.
How far did you have to travel?
We travel overnight, I think.
By what means?
This I not condemned. With that train, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you selected to go there? Was a selection made at
No,
the
no,
ghetto?
no,
Did you volunteer?
no. I've not got choice. I must go.
How were you told that you had to go there?
We told when we go into Germany for my mother with the family becoming money from Germany, from the United States, I don't know.
So you had to leave your family.
Yeah.
What did you take with you?
Nothing.
Just the clothes you were
The clothes
starting?
I wear, yes, and another couple shirts, another couple shoes.
Who travelled with you to Brett's?
It's the great Germany.
Yeah. Who were the others who went with you?
They walk away from the logic and get here.
You men and women? Or
No, they just a person, men, all men.
what sort of age group?
Young?
Young. And did you know where you were going?
No,
Nobody told you?
no.
So
We told her when we go off work that the family becoming money.
So when you got there, what did you find at Brett?
Finally, you in barracks with beds, and that's all.
What were the barracks constructed with?
Wood. There's sheds, very big sheds.
How many people were in the camp,
In the camp,
roughly? In the,
200 or 300.
and in your barracks?
You maybe 50, maybe less, maybe more.
So what else was in the barracks apart from beds?
Nothing.
Were there toilet facilities?
Now, totally big, altogether aside.
And what was a typical day like there?
Take me working,
What kind of work?
road work.
And what did you get to eat?
It's a big kitchen, was me collect from us from the boys. One was called cooking. They cook soup, sometimes we give horse from horses, with bread,
How often were you fed each day?
Pardon?
How many meals were you given each day?
In the morning you give a coffee. When we come home from work, you give a supper. A soup with some different.
Anything during the day?
No.
What sort of work was it?
It made a motorway, Warsaw, Moscow.
And how were you treated?
Not bad. Not bad.
Who was in charge? What nationality were the...
Germany. It's been German companies build this.
Not soldiers?
No, no soldiers.
And how long did this go on for? How long were you doing this work?
I was in 1940, end of 1941. Later we took us from the camp, moved us to Germany, Wittenberg. I worked by this, we bring coal to make petrol.
So you were transported to Wittenberg?
Wittenberg.
Right. How did you travel?
To work?
How did you travel from Bretz to Wittenberg?
With trains.
By train. How long was the journey?
Yes, I don't know.
No, don't. And the conditions, do you remember what the conditions on the train, on the journey were like?
No.
And what was your accommodation like in Wittenberg?
Accommodation, the same accommodation was in the other camp. In this camp.
And the food rations?
Food ration was, we got cart, coupons. So we got lagerfyr in the camp, I got the coupons he bought everything was me on the coupons.
Were there just Jews in the camp?
Yes.
And what were the working conditions like?
So we are hot.
Hot?
Hot. Very hot and hot. You store on the top. You work for an hour in the cold burning.
What were you doing?
We
shoveling
coal in the arms.
And did you get water to drink during the day? And food during the day while you were working?
This work we done mostly night time.
Was the work only done at night, or was it just that you were working at night?
We work shift.
In shifts?
Yeah.
Right. So did you sleep during the day?
And sleep all day. Sometimes.
What did you do other times?
Nothing.
You just sat in your barracks?
Yeah.
Right.
We built potatoes for the kitchen. We helped the kitchen a little bit also. When the boys come home from work, so then they ready the...
So did you get enough to eat?
Yes. Yeah.
And what was the treatment like there?
All the same shit was in the other camp, in this camp.
And who was in charge of the camp and the work?
It's been a lot. It's been a manager Germany. But from Auschwitz, one man was took over. Was the Germany get him orders to do. He get over us was to do.
And the camp. Who was guarding the camp?
Pardon?
Who was guarding the camp that you were living in?
Germany. No soldiers.
Not soldiers?
No soldiers.
But Germans?
Germany, yeah.
And did you witness any brutality there?
No.
What happened if somebody was ill?
A doctor, a nurse.
So they were given treatment?
Yeah,
the prisoners were given treatment if they were ill?
Yeah.
Did that happen to you at all?
No. I tried to do all this.
Right. So how long were you there?
Since 1942. 1942.
And what happened?
We took us to Auschwitz, Birkenau. From Birkenau, I've been one night. Later, I've been gone to Auschwitz.
Were you told that you were going to Auschwitz?
Yes.
Did you know anything about
No,
Auschwitz? Were there any rumours?
No. In Auschwitz I've been 4 weeks.
Can you tell me about when you arrived at Auschwitz? How did you arrive? By what means of travel?
Me walking.
You walked
Yeah. How long me walking this I not can remember.
from Wittenberg?
No, from Wittenberg.
From
Birkenau.
So, when you how did you travel to Birkenau from Wittenberg?
That train.
By train. And when you arrived at Birkenau, what happened there?
When we arrived at Birkenau, we took us to a barrack, we lay down on the floor.
You were told to lie down on
Yes,
the
it was
floor.
another condition.
There were no beds.
No.
How were you received there? How were you treated at Birkenau?
The first night, I've been one night, very bad.
Very bad.
Very.
Can you say some more about that?
No drinks, no water, no bread, nothing. It's been winter, we lay down on the floor.
And then the next day,
Next day in the lagerfeuer in Auschwitz, Schwarz the name.
Schwarz.
Schwarz. A night before, in 118 people from Wittenberg to Birkenau. He asked them lagerfeuer, did you get us bread? He said no. We get us later bread, we took us from Birkenau, we're going to Auschwitz.
We'll take a break for the tape.
You understand?
You said that the orders were given for you to go to Auschwitz. And how far was that to walk? How long did it take you?
3 hours, 4 hours.
How many of you were there?
Me think the 118 people. The 118 people was me come a night before to Birkenau.
All men?
All men.
And what did you see on your arrival?
Big barracks.
Did you have to go into some gates, or was there a barrier around the camp?
No, and then we come in, open the high gate, we're going in.
And when you went in, who was there to greet you or give orders?
No.
Were
When we
there...
come in, I've been one day, we took us a bath, later in men who say, take off all hair and all the body.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. When you arrived at first, what happened when you arrived?
We take out the number.
You went to have the number put on.
Great people are ready.
They were ready to do it?
Yes.
So what,
Yeah.
did you line up?
No, off the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to just line up and have it done? Was that inside a building or outside?
No, it's in a barrack, in a building, I think. Yeah.
Can you show it again? Can you say the number?
124, 083.
Did you see that that was happening to people in front of you? That they were having...
Yeah, I saw it. It was the thing. Others say it was done to me, it done to the other people.
Yeah. Were you told that you were going to have that done, or were you just...
No, not
pushed?
before and nothing.
How did you react?
Nothing was I going to... Nothing great to do but it. Yeah.
And what happened after that?
After this, in the men free barbers take off the work in the head, from other body hair. And that's all.
And what happened to your clothes?
Then we took our clothes, we get clothes from the camp, the stripes.
Did you have to go for a delousing procedure, showers or...
No. Later we took off the jacket, ik weet my number was off the hand, ik weet, yeah, dus ik weet my name.
Did any of the people who were doing this speak to you?
Not allowed.
They weren't allowed?
No, they told them nothing, they stung.
Were they also prisoners?
All prisoners, yeah.
And the one who stabbed your
Yeah,
arm
they're
was a prisoner?
And the men was I recognized was I been with was I been altogether in the other camp.
You recognized some of them?
A couple of men.
Did you know their names?
No.
So what happened once you'd been given the clothes and you'd had your hair cut?
We gone in the morning. We gone to work.
You said you had to go into barracks.
Yeah.
Can you describe the barracks?
The barrack been in bricks. Yeah. Was before the Polish army.
And were there beds in the
Beds.
barracks? How many men in a barrack?
250 maybe. There were 3 beds, one of the other.
And what time of the year was this?
Let's begin in 1942.
Winter time?
Yeah.
Was there any heating
She's been heating
in the barracks?
the barrack. Central heating.
A stove?
Yeah.
Right.
No stones, they were pipes.
So were you warm?
They were
Did you have bedding?
a blanket.
And what did you see was going on around you outside of the barracks in the grounds of the camp?
Nothing.
You didn't.
I knocked on me. What happened?
You didn't know what was happening?
No,
You were confused?
You're confused. No, had nothing.
Was there any selection procedure when you arrived?
Yes.
Can you describe that to
Like
me?
when the people were sitting very strong on one side, the men were sitting a little bit another of the other side.
Do you know who was conducting that?
There's a great from the camp, the men.
So
Jeremy assessment.
did you know what would happen to the men who weren't strong?
No,
Did you make any guesses?
no.
You didn't think about
Later, when I've been in Auschwitz, I've been 4 weeks.
And then,
Then I've been gone to Buno. In Buno, I've been all the time.
so what were you doing for the 4 weeks in Auschwitz?
Work, different work.
What kind of work?
Unplugging cement, bricks, and different work.
And while you were there, did you find out anything about what was happening in Auschwitz with the killings?
With the killing, I take them rooms. Spend the room.
What were people saying?
Yeah.
What were they saying? What
Roomies.
sort of things?
The gas people. Yeah, different room.
Did you see anything of those people who were going to be gassed?
No.
Were you in a different part of the camp?
Yeah, they very different different parts in the camp.
So you said you moved on to Buna,
It's a Buno.
and how far was that?
One of them talked to maybe 10 kilometers.
And how did you travel?
Walking.
And did you go with the same group of men that you
Yeah.
were?
Okay. Maybe a couple left in Buno. And Auschwitz.
And what happened to those who were left behind? You don't know. Did you, by this time, you were with the same group of men for some time?
No.
No?
When you come to Buno, when we told you you must work by this work. And first I worked unloading bricks. But this work I worked one day. And they told me, if you change the work, you finish.
Who told you?
The SS. I don't look after it. I changed the work for another work. I changed the work unloading coal. I work one day, that's enough for me.
How did you change? Did you ask, or did
No,
you just
I'm
go?
not allowed to ask, no.
So
myself.
You just went to the different...
different group. Later I've been...
Was there not a roll call each time?
No. We call up and no. Later I worked by cable, the heavy cable. då when var 500 men broadcast. This is enough for me.
Did they not count you
No.
each morning?
No.
There wasn't a roll call?
No.
No. Can you describe Buna? What was that camp like?
So all the same was Auschwitz again a wooden shed, very wooden shed. Yeah. Or 3 bed, one of the other.
And did you have heating there?
Very heating.
You did. And did you get enough to eat there?
Yeah, now I got to see it up at the stomach, but when every time a little bit swollen, what other people look for more eat. I know. I live this was I give every day, and this I live.
What were you given to eat every day?
A little bread, sometimes marmalade, tea to coffee. And, with this I've begun to work. I work 12 hours.
How many hours?
12.
Every day?
Every day. We left the camp 6 o'clock in the morning, and we come back 6 o'clock night time.
And if somebody was not well or had an accident while they were working, what happened?
We took with the ambulance, and they were big. We took me to work. If somebody died, she took me to bring it home.
Did you witness any brutality while you were there?
Yeah, I saw very brutality, yeah.
Under what circumstances?
Me beat
For what reason?
for nothing.
What else?
For the people, but the work, then Polish people from Ukraine, there's a very big anti-Semitism.
They were in charge, were they?
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
What were they, guards?
Think to speak out, yeah. Was the hating Jews, yeah. Later I've been on a different work, and I've been ill of dysentery. I've been in dysentery 3-4 days in a barrack. When I wake up in the morning, this people dead, and I pinch the bread.
So you just, when you were ill, you just stayed in the barracks?
Yeah, it's
Did you-
a different barrack, not the barrack. Yeah.
Like a hospital barrack?
A big hospital, then maybe I have 1,000 people.
Were you given any medical treatment?
Tablets, something.
Who were the doctors and nurses?
Polish.
Polish?
The Polish from the camp.
Jews?
Jewish, Polish, yeah. The doctor, one night the doctor in the barrack, he told me, if you live over the night, that nothing happens to you. I saw in the dream my father, my mother told me, he looked going glasses, a bear, a ginger bear, and I wake up in the morning, this is over.
And you were better in the
Better
morning?
than I began to say.
And you ate the bread
Yeah, I
of
ate
the
the bread,
people who
yeah.
had died beside
yeah.
you? Yeah. And then what did you do after you recovered? What work did you do once you'd recovered?
Recovered. Later I left in the camp.
Oh, so when you recovered you didn't go back to work?
No, back to work. I tried to do all in my work. I started to work, but this work, delivering bread to the barrack, and so to keep the barracks clean.
So was that a good job
Yeah, this
to have?
guy, a very good job.
Why was that a good job?
First, go out, you left in the barracks, you can eat, you can become a little bit more eat in the kitchen and in the bakery shop. Yeah.
And how long did that go on for?
This guy done 1944, been a rumor. The Russians started to go in Krakow, in another front here. Me took us to Germany, but this is not true. In 1945, in the 17 January, we took us in the camp, starting to walk.
Now you say they took you. Was that everybody in the camp?
The men was going to go. The men was got pains and the not going to go and left in the barracks.
So people who were ill were
Yeah.
left behind.
Behind. What's happened with the people is I don't know.
So you had to go, you had to walk
Walk, we've been there.
in the winter.
Yeah.
Where did you think you were walking to? You weren't told?
No. We stopped off a place. We were making bricks.
A brick factory?
A big factory, but the big factory had been a train line. We wait of the train, I think 2 days.
You say that it was winter
Yeah.
and you had to walk. What covering did you
Nothing,
have?
no covering, nothing.
Were you still wearing your Auschwitz
Yes, yes,
uniforms,
all
the
right.
stripes?
Yeah,
And
In SS
so you walked for 3 days?
about 2-3
2 to
days.
3 days.
Yeah,
And then you had to go on a train.
per train.
Can you describe the train? Do you remember?
We killed the animals.
Like trucks?
Trucks, yeah.
Were there any letters or numbers on
No,
the truck?
nothing.
And how many trucks were there?
I don't know, can't tell.
Were they-
A very big train, very big.
Were they covered trucks?
Yeah, travel.
And how many people would be in each truck?
How many is going to go in?
You were just
Yeah.
pushed
Me
in.
push it.
And how many days were you on the train?
2 days.
Well,
The train stopped at a forest.
while you were on the train, before it stopped,
Yeah.
were you given food
Nothing,
and water?
no, nothing.
Was there any sanitation, toilet
No,
facilities?
nothing.
Did anybody die while you were
I think
travelling?
they died.
And what happened to their bodies?
Nothing.
Just
Yeah,
left.
they left. Yeah.
And what did you think was happening? Where did you think you were going?
No, nothing.
Were there any rumours?
No.
So you were travelling for 2 days
2 days.
without stopping?
Without stopping.
And when you arrived at your destination, do you know where you arrived?
No.
What happened when the train...
We opened the trains. Here go the train, and here go a forest. And everyone gonna go to the forest. So you got an SS man by the end of the stop.
So there were SS men
Yeah.
to meet you when the train stopped?
Yes, it's me going straight to the forest. Of the place you go straight to the forest, I try to not to go to the forest. I've been gonna
You went in a different direction?
different direction.
Why?
I don't know why.
Did you plan beforehand?
No, I'm not playing nothing. No,
You just did it on the moment?
Yeah, no planes.
You just went
My
on your...
mind told me this. Yeah.
So where did you go?
I saw the winter, the snow was over. Yeah, I saw a shed. I go to the shed. I open the shed.
How did you avoid the SS men
I don't
seeing
know.
you?
This I don't know.
Did you?
Miracles. Miracles.
Was there chaos? Was
No,
just a-
no chaos. Nothing.
you just went the other way?
The other way.
And how far away was the shed from?
Shed, yeah. 2 miles maybe.
2 miles.
Yeah.
So while you were running away, were you hidden by anything, by trees or?
No.
So you could have been seen by the
No,
soldiers.
Ja, men kan man se. För det är det snow, man kan se mina
Footsteps.
footsteps.
Were
I-
you afraid that you would be seen?
Jag var inte afraid.
You were.
Yeah.
What did you think would happen if you were
I
seen?
don't-
You didn't think
I
about
don't
it.
think anything.
You just ran.
I just ran.
You just ran
Yeah.
for 2 miles,
Yeah.
and then you saw.
A shed, I opened the shed. The shed is full up with straw. Jag vet a lid there. Then I climb up the lid and for me, I've been up on top, I lie down. I had a person going. I come to after a person, he asked me in Polish, what are you doing here?
So he saw you going in.
No, he told me, lie down on top. Are you frightened? He asked me what I doing here. I answered him and said, I'm dark. I go away from here. But in my mind, bring me a hot drink.
And did he?
Did.
Were you afraid he might tell the Germans that you were
No,
there?
I don't.
You didn't think about
I
it?
think nothing. I sleep over the night.
So what did he give you? Just coffee?
This was a hot drink.
Did he
And
give you
I
any?
don't want something different.
You didn't want anything to eat?
No, I want a hot drink.
But you hadn't eaten for
No, a couple days.
2 days?
Yeah.
But that didn't worry you?
No, this one.
So then you slept?
I slept overnight. In my of the place is where a very big, good, a plenty of trains to here. Right, like that night of my head, quiet, no trains going through. But got in my mind, something happened. Later, in the morning, I left the shed. I gone through another 2 miles. I've been to another shed.
Was this all still with no other clothing?
No, with the same clothes. I gone to another shed. My man come into 2 women.
When you were running, were there any people about?
No, nothing.
So nobody. It was all through what forest?
No, building, very quiet.
Was it? What sort of areas were you going through?
Farm area.
Farm.
Farm, yeah.
So you were in another shed.
Another shed in 2 women. The 2 women, I asked something to eat. Later, I've been on a jacket. He weighed in the back. From the camp. So, I took off the jacket. I made this punch off.
They gave you something different to wear. Did you ask them for that, or
No.
did they give
No,
it to you? They chose to give. And these were Polish women.
That's a great Polish. Polish.
And
What place Poland is, I don't know.
you don't know where.
No.
And did they give you something to eat?
Yes.
And to drink? What was your physical condition like by now?
I never got a little bit better than before.
It was better than before?
Yeah, I got the rest. I sleep. I eat something.
So then what did you decide to do next?
This gewesen near Change-the-Hof.
Near?
Change-the-Hof, yeah. This is that Change-the-Hof built a very big camp.
So it was near there?
Yeah.
What kind of camp was it?
A lot of
A
camp.
concentration camp?
Mission camp, yeah.
So it was near there?
Yeah. Later I meet, when I come to Change-the-Hof, I meet the people.
You went into Chester?
Change-the-Hof, yeah, I meet people.
To the camp?
Not to the camp,
No.
yeah,
To the village?
to the village. So you got a big town, a village.
So you went to the town,
Yeah.
and what did you decide to do once you got there?
This I not remember what I told. Me in a train, I began to Warsaw.
You got on a train there?
Yeah.
How did you buy a ticket?
With no ticket.
You just got on without
I
a
got
ticket?
off, yeah. I began to Warsaw, and I began to lodge.
To lodge?
To lodge. I've been off in the flat where we lived before.
By this time, what was the war still carrying on?
The war.
The war was still carrying on?
Poland they finished. The war finished 1945 in May.
So,
Up in Poland is finished. It's where Russia.
So-
Russia took over.
so at what point during your escape did the war come to an end?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Poland.
In Poland?
In Poland.
When did that happen? After you'd escaped from the train?
Yes, yes.
Where were you when the war was over in Poland? The day that you realised that the war was over?
I think I'm Lodge.
You think you were in Lodge?
Like
So
I
so the war was still on when you got on the train?
The war finished 1945 in May. Up in Poland, it's been Russia took over.
Yes, yes. But so when you took the train from
Yeah, but
Częstochowa.
Yeah.
The war was still continuing.
not in Poland.
Not in Poland.
Not in Poland.
It had finished. So when had it stopped in Poland?
In Poland, when the war
If-
had finished, 1945. The first, and
What
in January, I think,
But
1945.
What were you doing? It was in January. It was in January 1945. But what I would like to know is, where were you when you found out that the war was over in Poland?
Lodge.
So you'd already gone on that train to Lodge. So
to
the
Lodge.
war was still on when you
Yeah.
were running, and you got on the train
Yeah.
and you went to Lodge.
Yeah.
And when you arrived at Lodge,
Lodge.
what did you do?
What I doing? First, I've been in flat where I lived before.
But the war was still continuing, you
I
said, at
think
this
in the
time.
way. Didn't I think that?
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Oh, all right.
I've been to the navies.
You went to the flat?
Yes, I've been to a couple navies. I told you, if somebody in for my family, I give them address where I live. Yeah.
Were the Polish people who'd taken over your flat when you'd been
Yeah,
forced out, were they still there?
Yeah, they live, yeah.
So where did you stay in Lodge?
In Lodge, ik ben an organization, a Jewish organization, was in the kitchen, we were sleeping.
Do you know the name of the organisation?
No.
And was it while you were staying there that you found out that the war was over in Poland?
Yeah.
And how long did you stay there?
What, 2 weeks.
And were they trying to help you to trace your family?
Yeah, to help. Yeah.
Did you find anything out?
No. Later I've been from Lodz, I've gone to Warsaw.
To Warsaw?
To Warsaw,
Why-
no, Warsaw, Prague. Das ist also wie von hier zu der Westen. Yeah.
So why did you go there?
But well, most of the people that are going to Warsaw was a very big. In the community was a before UNRWA, an organization UNRWA in America,
Ah,
to send food with clothes, with everything in me.
you went to work.
I've been to work a little bit, not much. Now I got Hashik to work.
Had you managed to make contact with anybody who you had known
No.
beforehand?
No.
Nor while you-
I meet people, I meet before the war, a couple people. The name I now can't remember.
But none of your family,
No.
none of your old
No.
friends?
No.
Did you know what might have happened to your family? Were you told what it might?
I met this man beforehand. Yeah.
So how long were you in Warsaw?
In Warsaw I've been a couple months. Later I've gone to Wrocław. Before is Breslau. In Wrocław I started to work for an organization, in a liberal organization. It's a Chinese.
Sorry, the
The liberal.
liberal
Yeah.
organisation, a
Yeah.
political
Yeah.
organisation. What were you doing for them?
We doing the great camp. We try people to go over the border to Germany, and from Germany they're going to Palestine. to Israel.
So it was a Jewish organisation.
organisation,
You were
yeah.
trying to help people to
Yeah.
emigrate
Yeah.
to Palestine.
Yeah. Later in the
Was that something difficult to achieve?
It's very, very difficult.
What was difficult about it?
First, they're not allowed to go to the border.
They weren't allowed to go to Bordeaux.
Yeah. Aber ich will money. We have got money from my colleague. We get the men was about the border. Was town by the border.
Did you have to smuggle people
smuggle
over
people. Border. Yeah.
the border to Germany and then to France?
Then to France. And I've been later from Warsaw, from Wrocław. I've been to France. I work in a camp.
By this time, what year was it?
It's been 1946, I think. I began to France. I worked in a camp with the people coming from Germany.
We'll take a break for the tape.
Yeah.
France.
Marseille gave many camps, Jewish camps.
Who were they run by, the Jewish camps?
Jewish camp, but a Jewish organization.
You don't know the name?
No, Jewish organization. They were conservative, they gave all the Jewish men, they were Mapam, Mapai, all the Jewish organizations.
Why did you go there? What was your intention?
We told them, why I won't go near go to Israel.
You wanted to go to Israel?
No, when I come to Marseille, I've been going to them camp in Marseille. I started to work, I've been getting a kochelet. You know what a kochelet is? I get a mixer.
A mixer?
Yeah,
What,
I like to mix in.
without be sociable with people?
Yeah. The manager in the camp, so as I'm at work, he helped me back in the camp, in helping.
He wanted you to help him.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I'm not going to remember. They're dead. They're dead.
He's dead now.
They're dead. He died in Israel. Yeah. I've been in them camp since 1950. What I've done in them camp, I've got all the food, the meat is way under my hand, under in my control. I've got the key. It's been a kitchen. I kept every night to the kitchen. So where people was coming from Germany, from other camp. So when they came, maybe 500 people. We cooked. Then we got people sleeping. We get to eat in clothes to put on. The people in the van came maybe 2 weeks.